Yoga for Health and Joy. We are in the midst of our series, and today the series is going to focus on the lower back and the hips. We are going to do no standing poses today. Yeah, we're going to do lots of mat work, and we're going to make your body, your hips, and your lower back feel fantastic. It's hot here. It's August in hot weather, so I'm going to teach you the cooling pranayama breath. So sit nice and comfortable. If you want to sit up on a blanket like me, just put your sit bones on the edge of the blanket and let your thighs fall down in front. That helps get your back straight. You want to have your back straight for the pranayama. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Sit up nice and tall. First of all, we're just going to settle into our natural breath before I teach you the cooling breath. So please close your eyes and bring your loving awareness to your natural breath. Arriving here now, not in where you were before you got here, and not where you're going afterwards. Right here and now. I'll take a few longer, deeper breaths. Scanning your body for any tightness or tension. And then using your exhale to dissolve it, to let it release and relax. Gently open your eyes. Okay, so the cooling breath is you stick your tongue out and you roll it. Can you roll your tongue? Raise your hand. 80% of the population can, 20% can't. So if you cannot roll your tongue, you're just going to stick it out a little bit. If you can roll your tongue, you're going to stick it out a little bit with it rolled like a taco tongue. And we're going to inhale through your tongue, through your mouth, and then close your mouth softly. Hold the breath for 5, and then we're going to exhale out through the nostrils to the count of 5. So it'll be a 5 count. I'll talk you through it a couple times and let you continue a few more times. So stick your tongue out a little bit and roll your tongue if possible. And take an inhale through your mouth, through your tongue. 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your tongue in, hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick your tongue back out. Let the cool air come in through your tongue, through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tongue in. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue like that. One more cycle. Return to your natural breath. So by sticking our tongues out, it cools the breath before it enters the body. Sort of like a dog. Helps the tongue out, helps to cool the breath. Okay, we'll practice that again halfway through the class. For now, please lay down on your backs with your knees bent and set your blanket to the side. Knees bent, feet underneath your knees, and pick up your right leg. Hold on to your right shin, squeeze your knee into your chest. If you can't hold on to your shin, hold on to the back of your leg and squeeze it in. And then press your left foot down into your mat so you feel your lower back on the mat. Squeeze in and breathe. Slowly and deeply. And then set your right foot down. Press it down. Inhale your left leg up and squeeze your left knee into your chest, holding on to the top of your shin or behind your hamstrings if the top of the shin's too far. So we'll stay here for 5 breaths on most of the poses today. And then it gives you time to breathe into the pose and move your pose around a little bit to make it feel even better. And set your left foot back down. Right leg back up and squeeze your knee in. Now, what's your right foot doing? Please spread your toes. You can point if you'd like, just be aware so your foot is participating. Your lower back's down on your mat. Optionally, slide your left heel long on your mat and tack your left thigh down. And stay here and breathe slowly. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the stretch. Pulse your body around a little way, side to side, front to back. And set your right foot firmly down on your mat. Pick up your left leg, squeeze it in. Activate your left foot. And optionally stretch your right heel down on your mat. Tack your right thigh down. Tack your right heel down. And squeeze your left thigh in towards your chest. So a nice way to pulse is squeeze your left knee in as much as it will go, and then release it a little. and then squeeze it in a little more again. So while we're in our poses for 5 nice breaths, that's a nice thing to do. Just release it a little and then reactivate it. And then stretch your left leg long. Squeeze your legs together. Stretch your arms out overhead. And from your belly, stretch out through your spine, out through the top of your head, out through your fingers. And simultaneously from your belly, stretch out through your legs, out through your heels and your toes. And point your toes. And now flex your feet. Keep stretching in both directions. Give it lots of space in your spine and between your organs. Point your feet again. And flex. And bring your arms down along your side. Pick up both legs. And you can have your knees over to the edges of your body. Hold on to your shins again or the backs of your legs. And we're going to do big sacrum circles because they'll go all the way out to the left and then over to the right and make big circles. And go the other direction. And now squeeze in through center, bring your shins a little closer together, squeeze in. And then set your feet back down again. Press your left foot down, pick your right leg straight up to the sky. And then hold on to the back of your hamstring, interlace your fingers behind the belly of your hamstring. So that's right in between your knee and your hip. Tack your left thigh away from your torso. I'm sorry, tack your right thigh away from your torso. Press your left foot into the mat. Your whole back should be on your mat. Tack your right thigh away. And then we'll stay here for a few breaths, pulsing the pose. Take your foot overhead a little bit more. Yeah, see where it goes. And then release it. And then you get to choose how deep you want to go in every pose. Let your breath inform you. Let your loving awareness of your body and your breath guide you. And then set your right foot down. Press it down. Pick your left leg up. Stretch it straight up to the sky. And interlace your fingers behind the belly of your left hamstring. For starters, tack your left thigh away from your chest. Right foot presses down. You feel your lower back on your mat. And then start taking your left foot overhead a little bit. And then you can release it. Squeeze your left kneecap. And now set your left foot overhead. Just kidding. That would be quite something if we could do that. And bend your left leg, set your left foot down. Pick up your right leg again. Spread your toes, interlace your hands behind the belly of your hamstring. Tack your right thigh away and your whole back, your lower back's on the mat. We're going to do that same thing, pulsing the leg around front to back and even side to side. And optionally, you can stretch your left leg long. Tack your left thigh down. And bend your right leg. Set your right foot down. Hoist your left leg all the way up. And interlace your fingers behind the left hamstring. Activate your foot, spread your toes. And then optionally slide your right heel long to get your right leg straight. 5 breaths here. Loving your body. Researching it, exploring it. And then release your hands, stretch your left leg long on your mat. And then pick up both legs. And then if you have a block nearby, you always want to bring your blocks, your yoga toys to every class. Put the block in between your shin. If you don't have a block, pretend like there's a block there. Activate your legs, activate your feet, and keep your legs as best you can parallel with each other. Now bring your arms out like cactus pose. Anchor your shoulders down, elbows down. Legs are approximately in an L shape. And now exhale your knees down to the left, slowly, slowly, almost to the earth. And then inhale them back up. And then exhale the opposite way. Exhale, slow exhale. Inhale your knees back up. Exhale over to the left. See if you can energetically tack your right hip away from your right shoulder as you lower your legs. Inhale up. Exhale your knees to the right. Tack your left hip away from your left shoulder. And keep going like this 3 more times. Exhaling down, almost to the earth. Inhaling up. And then when you're done, take the block out, set your feet down. And then with block in hand, push your feet down, lift your hips up, and place the block under your sacrum. Yeah, right in the place where it feels very supportive. Anchor your shoulders down, and bring your arms right alongside your torso, alongside the block. Press your palm, your hands down, arms down, bend your legs, and take your feet up to the sky again, up to your ceiling. Look at your toes and see if you can spread them apart, especially your little toe. That's your love toe. You want more love in your life? Spread your little toe. And now take your feet apart. Take your legs apart. As far as they comfortably go. Nice inner adductor stretch, inner thigh stretch. Looking good. And now we'll do 5 breaths. Inhale your feet up maybe an inch or 2, and then exhale them down again. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And then on your next inhale, inhale both legs straight up. Re-anchor your arms down along your side and press your ceiling away with your right foot. Stretch your left leg long down towards the earth, down, 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 almost to the earth, and use your inhale to bring your leg back up. Now push the ceiling away with your left foot. Stretch your right leg long as you lower it, almost to the earth. And imagine your torso is like an ice cream scoop, helping you to inhale that leg back up. And then stretch the left leg long. If you don't have a block, you can put your palms down on your mat underneath your sacrum. Although it's really great to have 2 yoga blocks in your home. If you feel like you want to try both legs, you can do that same thing. Stretch them long as you lower them. It makes it really easier. And then use your torso and your inhale, bring them back up. Stretch them long. Toes are active. Inhale back. We'll do a few more like this. These are very good for strengthening our abdominal muscles that support the lower back. Also, you might feel some hip action. Strengthen our whole immune system. One more, actually 2 more, one on each leg or both legs. And then bring your feet straight up to the ceiling, spread your toes, and then bend your knees, set your feet down. Push your feet down, lift your hips up, and slide your block over to the side. Okay, gonna do Sukhi-Randrasana, a nice hip opener. So, left foot down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Pick up your left foot, and then hold on to your left shin. Put your right hand in between your legs, hold on to your left shin. Squeeze your legs in, squeeze your hips in. Oh yeah, you should feel a nice big stretch in your right hip. Same thing if you can't hold, if the shin's too far away, you can hold onto the back of your left hamstring. Squeeze it all in, squeeze in. And now bring your hands to the belly of your hamstring. Tack your left thigh away, tack your right knee away energetically, and optionally stretch your left foot up to the ceiling. Here, your lower back's on the mat. You're tacking your right knee away from your torso, left thigh away from your torso, and your feet are actively participating. And we will change sides. Right foot down, left ankle over your right knee. Put your left hand in between your legs, pick up your right foot and hold on your shin, squeeze your legs in. Squeeze in and feel that now. Feel it on your outer left hip. Oh, that feels so good, right? These deep stretches. Wow. Creating mobility, flexibility, resilience. Want to be flexible so we don't break. That's how I got into yoga when I was 50 years old in earnest. I did some always before, but I said to myself, Patricia, you are stiff. You better start getting flexible or you're going to break. And then right hand to the belly of your right hamstring, optional right leg up. Now tack your right thigh away and left knee away. Sukhi-Randrasana. And then bend that leg, set the foot down. Now please roll over and bring yourself into a down dog. We are going to do pigeon pose. And for those of you who pigeon pose is not that good for you, we have an option. And the option is Sukhi Randrasana, the pose you just did, okay? So take 5 slow, deep breaths here in your down dog. And now look between your hands and bring your right knee to your right wrist. Slide your left leg back. Now here you have flexibility. You can take your knee further out or you can take it further in to make it feel right. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. If it feels right, it is. Okay? Now look in between your legs. Make sure you can see your left foot back there. That's an important part of this pose, to make sure your hips are lined up, protecting your lower back, strengthening your lower back. Come on up on your fingertips. So you can bring your torso straight up. And now let gravity sink your hips down, the weight of your body, taking your hips apart, side to side. It's the visualization I use. Open the pelvis. Open the hips side to side. They get so compacted during our daily lives. They get so tight, right? So here we just breathe and let gravity and our exhale help to open them. And now reach your torso really long. Make fists with your hands and rest your forehead down on your fists. Melt your heart towards the earth. And then we'll stay here for 5 breaths. You can pulse your pose around, front to back, side to side. See if you can take your left leg back, maybe 1/2 inch. Scoop your right sit bone under to get your right knee 1/2 inch forward. And then come on up. Place your hands down for a down dog pose. Straighten your left leg and step your right foot back for a down dog. Take your inner thighs up and back. Take your outer hips up and back. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Look between your hands and take your left knee to your left wrist, or do Sukhi Randrasana on the other side. See if you can walk your right leg back, straight back, and then come on up on your fingertips. Also, if it doesn't feel right to come up on your fingertips, you can use blocks until your body gets used to what you're asking of it. And then shoulders back. 5 breaths here. Hips opening side to side and front to back. Undoing, remediating the sitting that we do when it gets compacted in our cars, in our chairs, in our desks. And then keep the action in your legs and the hips, As you reach your spine really long and make your fists with your hands, rest your forehead down. And then just see where you want to move the pose a little bit, where it feels extra good in your hips. Left to right, front to back. And then come on up with your hands in down dog position. Lift up your right leg and step yourself back for down dog. Legs parallel. Hips up and back, thighs up and back. A couple of nice big deep breaths here. Our BFFP, best friend forever pose. Stretch out your back, stretch out your hips, inner thighs, back and apart, outer hips, up and back. And now rest your knees down on the mat, take your knees apart, touch your big toes together, and now another big lower back stretch. So press your hips back as far as they will comfortably go. And since it's August and it's hot, go ahead, rest your forehead down on your mat, rest your forearms down on your mat. Just a nice restorative lower back stretch. If your hips don't come all the way back, that's okay. You're still a really good person. Just take them to where it feels like it's comfortable for you, where you can set into some sort of comfortable breathing. And come on up to all fours and have a seat. If you want, you can sit up on your blanket again. We're going to do some hip openers here. Seated hip openers. So please pick up your right leg. You can let the left leg just be sort of out casual. And then hold on to your foot. Press your hand in your foot in your hand, and draw your shoulders back. Lift up your heart and have your lower back coming in and up. And now take your knee right underneath your armpit. See how close into your torso you can take it. And now bring your foot straight out in front of you again. Spread your toes, shoulders back. Feel lots of length in your spine. Now take your leg towards straight or perhaps straight while you have your kneecap engaged. Little by little, breath by breath. We're remodeling our bodies. It takes a little time, takes a little patience and love. Squeeze your right kneecap towards straight or straight. If you don't get straight, remember, you're always a good person. We know you're still a good person even if you can't do any of the poses. And you're still getting a nice stretch, whatever stage of the pose you're at. So it's all yoga. And then release that down. And then let that right leg rest. Pick up your left foot and press your hand in your foot in your hand. And left knee back. Right underneath your armpit. The beautiful thing about yoga is wherever you are, if you've just been doing yoga, your first class or your 1,000th class, you've done 1,000 classes, we still get to deal with our feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Yep. And there's always more to stretch, first time or many, many times. And now bring your foot right out in line with the hip. And then re-lengthen your back, shoulders back, heart lifts, with your hand firmly pressing in your foot firmly pressing back, and your hand slowly start to take your left foot higher to the sky, towards straight or straight. Now, perhaps this happens to be easy for you, then there's more. You take your shin towards your chin and your chin towards your shin. And then slowly release that one. That is a good one. Okay. So again, let the left leg come down sort of casual. And there's a pose that's called baby cradle, big, nice big hip stretch. I'm going to show you the forklift variation. It's much more accessible to people who might like this variation. So this is your shin in your elbows. Right, this is, and then you move side to side. If you want to try baby cradle, you put your foot in the crook of your arm and wrap out the outside of your leg. Now, the key thing here is press out to the mound of your big toe so your foot isn't sickling. That's the tendency. So you want to have your ankle engaged, press out to the mound of your big toe. And then side to side. I trained in yoga and many, many trainings here in California. And I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know some of you know that. Some of you are from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania too. So I went back for a visit to visit my family, and I went to a yoga class there. And that's where I heard the forklift variation. A lot of construction workers, a lot of construction at that time in Pittsburgh. Okay, now get back hold of your foot with both hands. Take your right arm on the inside of your leg, get hold of your right heel with your right hand. Take your right knee back, lift your right foot up. Knee back, foot up, knee back, foot up, knee back, foot up. Just keep going like that. Perhaps you can put your hand on your calf and get your knee over your shoulder. Perhaps you can, perhaps you can. Now, if you can do that, and put your foot behind your head. Don't get stuck, but just try. You get a nice stretch. And release. Okay, that's a good stretch. Pick up your left foot, left shin, and you can put your shin in the crook of your elbows, or put your left foot in the crook, and then shimmy your hip and your leg side to side. If you don't feel enough, what do? You lift your knee up and bring it closer in. Woo! And you feel it. These muscles here in our hip region, they're big, strong muscles. They can take a lot of stretching. They like a lot of stretching. And now get a hold of your foot with both hands. Lengthen your back. Take your left arm on the inside of your left leg. Get a hold of your left heel. And then take your heel up and knee back. Heel up, knee back. We're just playing. Heel up, knee back. Up, knee back. And then just see where you go. See, maybe you can get your knee over your elbow. Maybe you just get it up your arm part way. And then just play around. It's fun to just play. You get a nice big stretch, right? And then set that foot down. Woo! See, who knew you were going to be able to try to put your foot behind your head. Take both legs straight out in front of you. Put your fingertips behind you, lengthen your spine. Let your right leg fall open. Put your right foot back in your groin area for Jani Shashasana. And now get a hold of your glute muscles, your sit bones, and pull them back and apart, creating more space in your hips and pelvic floor. And then take a slight twist out over your left leg. And you can have your fingertips down behind you to make sure your lower back is in and up and you got lots of space in your spine. You can stay upright, rooting your left thigh, lifting through your spine, or hinge at your hips. Same thing, root your left thigh and lengthen through your spine. If you're hinging, you can bring your arms in front, get a hold of some part of your leg or foot. 5 breaths here. Rooting your leg and lengthening your spine. And come on up. Bring your right leg in. And right leg straight on out. And then let your left leg fall open. And then bring your foot back into your groin area. Nice wide here. And then I like to push my fingertips down behind me to make sure I got lots of space in my spine. Tack your right thigh down, right heel down, and then just a little twist to get your torso straight out over your leg. Keep rooting your leg and lengthening through your spine, whether you stay upright or start hinging. Keep your nose headed towards your toes. So your cervical spine, your neck is lengthening along with the rest of your back. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the stretch. And then walk yourself back up your leg. Bring your left leg in. Okay. Now, Upavista Konasana, 2 wide legs. Both legs are nice and wide. And then here, you really gotta lean to one side, really get a hold of the muscles, the glute muscles, the sit bone, pull it back and apart. Do it that way, and then keep it there, and then do it again. Do it again. Get it all back, back, back. And then fingertips behind you. Kneecaps straight up, toes straight up. And it's the same thing here. You can stay upright or begin hinging and lengthening your torso right in between your legs. If you're hinging, and you go ahead, place your fingertips down on the floor in front of you. Root your legs and lengthen your spine. And here's a little pro tip. I said this once, I gave this instruction once, and one of my students said, she said, that was a pro tip. So I say that now. So here it is. Isometrically squeeze your shins towards each other. And then isometrically take your inner thighs apart. Notice how you can feel that. Getting a little more space, a little more freedom. And try it again. Isometrically draw your shins together. And then on that, isometrically take your inner thighs apart. Keep your thighs rooting as you slowly bring yourself up to straight up and down. Take your hands underneath your knees and bring your legs back together. Okay, so this is going to be our cat and cow for the class, massaging the back. Hold on to your shins and then round your back. Take your navel to your spine. And then arch on your inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your heart up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch, lengthen, heart forward. So a few more times with this, connecting your movements to your breath. And we'll come through center. Okay. I hope the corners of your mouth feel like they are easily turned up for an advanced yoga pose. Okay, lay down on your mats, please, with your knees bent. We'll do a nice supine hip stretch here. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Squeeze your thighs together. And now scoot your hips over just about 3 inches or so and drop your knees over to the left. Set your right knee down on the floor, or if the floor is too far away, put your knee on the block. So both knees are over to the right. Take your left hand, put it on your right hip, and coax your right hip away from your right shoulder. And now stretch your right shoulder out, right arm out, opposite direction. And even turn your head and look out over your right arm. And we'll breathe here. You can pulse the pose. Move your legs slightly, your hip, your arm, anything. And then inhale, bring your right arm up and legs up. Uncross your legs. And then cross your left thigh over your right. Squeeze your thighs together. And then scoot your hips a little to the left and drape your knees down to the right. Set your knee down on the block, on the floor, in the blanket. And then right hand on your left hip to encourage your hip to stretch away from your left shoulder. Reach your left arm out at a diagonal, nice shoulder stretch too. Spinal column rotation, hip stretch. Lots happening here. And then inhale, bring your left arm up and hips up, legs up. Okay. And then here is one of my favorite all-time hip stretch and spine stretch. Take your left leg long, pick up your right leg, and then roll your right hip all the way over Set your right knee down on the floor or block or blanket. And then left hand again on your hip. It's similar to the other pose, but slightly different. Your left leg is long. And then stretch your right shoulder out. You might be feeling some chiropractic adjustments here in some of these poses during this class. There's no extra charge. And then we'll come on up. Pick up your right leg, take it long. And then pick up your left leg, roll your left hip over the right, set your left knee down. Right hand to your left hip. Or you can put it anywhere you like it. You can put it on the middle of the thigh or the knee, just somewhere where it feels good to just get a little more depth in the pose, a little more space. So breathe as you pulse the pose. And bring your left leg up. Left arm down. Okay. Okay, happy baby. Pick up both legs. Take your arms on the insides of your legs. You gotta hold the outside of your feet. And gently press your hands in your feet in your hands, and then just roll around. Like you did when you were a little baby in the basket. Rolling around, exploring, learning about your body. We're still learning. That's the good news. And then set your feet down. We'll do Supta Baddha Konasana. Take the soles of your feet together here and let your knees fall open. Bring your arms down along your side. Press your feet together. And then similarly to we did when our legs were wide open, you can inhale your knees up a little bit and then exhale them down a little bit more. So do that with your breath. Basically, you're releasing the stretch and then re-stretching it. Inhaling your knees up a little bit and exhaling with gravity to take your knees down a little bit. Big inner thigh stretch. And then bring your knees up. Stretch your legs long and let them fall open. No effort, absolutely zero effort. And then bring your arms out along your side, palms up, and adjust your receiving the benefits of this practice. Close your eyes. Rest your awareness in the flow of your breath. Take a deeper inhale. Slower exhale.
Bend one leg, set your foot down. Bend the other. Slowly roll to your right side. Rest your head in your forearm. And use your arms to lift you up to seated. From the love in my heart to the love in your hearts, namaste. And I'll see you for the next class. It will be more hips and then more hamstrings. We'll move down the body into the hamstrings. Have a beautiful rest of your day.